All right, everyone, it's time for some more bug news. Consumer-grade insecticide sprays fail to show control for cockroaches. This was a study that came out in the Journal of Economic Entomology this month, and it was testing predominantly pyrethroid home sprays for cockroach control. And they don't want to name the brand, but pyrethroids are used extensively in at-home cockroach control sprays, predominantly things like Raid cockroach sprays. And what the study showed was that for wild cockroaches, so these are cockroaches collected from people's homes, and not ones that are reared in laboratory conditions for prolonged periods of time, those cockroaches were extremely resistant to these sprays. On average, it required 30 minutes of continuous exposure to this spray on a surface in order to show any effect. So this is something that you see, basically anyone who's ever used these sprays knows or has had the experience that you basically have to spray the insect directly, and that otherwise it doesn't seem to kill anything. But in the worst case scenario, some of these cockroaches required 5 days continuous exposure to show any effect from these pesticides, which raises the question of why is anyone using these pesticides? They just aren't effective. And what is even more concerning is that consumer protection groups and the EPA and things like that do not require insecticide products to be tested on cockroaches recently collected from the field or with demonstrated insecticide resistance. And the issue with this is that basically all cockroaches that are in people's homes nowadays are resistant to these pesticides. The cockroaches that a lot of these companies test their pesticides on are cockroaches which have been reared in laboratory conditions for prolonged periods of time so that they do not have any sort of pesticide resistance. And that's just not the case for the roaches that you might see in your home or your apartment. And it's absolutely ridiculous that they are allowed to get away with this. So basically what you have to do if you do have a cockroach infestation is twofold. If you are already infested, you need to use stronger products like baits, which the cockroaches will ingest and take back to their little nest. Or you need to get a professional exterminator to come out and pay out the nose for this professional extermination. Generally speaking, the better solution, and people don't particularly like hearing this, is that they need to be meticulously clean. You need to be deep cleaning your floors, especially in the kitchen and the bathroom, pretty regularly. You need to make sure that your pantries are clean. You need to make sure that all of your dry goods are put away in airtight containers so that insects can't get in. This will not just prevent cockroaches from getting in, but it will prevent other insects like ants and beetles and caterpillars and things like that from getting into your pantry. You also need to do things like clean out your spice cabinet, because frequently spice containers spill and insects will eat the spices. You need to pull out your refrigerator and your oven and clean underneath and behind them, because little crumbs of things get under there and they never get cleaned up, and that's where the insects like to hang out. If it's a continuous problem, I never particularly liked using insecticides in the home, in apartments that had cockroaches coming in, especially, and this is especially true if you live in the South, which I've done periodically through most of my life. Cockroaches love to infest your garden, especially if you have mulch and things like that. And what you need to do is either not use mulch, but if you're in an apartment complex and you don't have any control over, one, your neighbors and how filthy they are, or two, what your landlords do with the landscaping and things like that, is you need to treat the exterior of your home or your apartment. Frequently, even if you keep your home very clean, if it's particularly rainy or particularly hot, the cockroaches will come in from the outside. They'll come in through your windows. They'll come in under your doors. So you need to have weatherproofing. You need to treat the outside, especially if you have things like trash cans or a dumpster nearby. You need to treat around your door frames, or you need to treat around your window frames on the exterior of the home. And then you don't have to worry about having pesticides in your home, which is something that I always do. Don't take any of this as a 100% recommendation or anything like that. If you want to consult with a pest specialist, especially if you know some, please consult with them. There are good solutions to these things that are safe for children and for pets that don't require you to spray things. Like this article goes into, baits are a great solution, especially if you put the baits outside. Then you don't have to worry about if you have a toddler or something, them accidentally eating it. Or things like that. So I never particularly liked using insecticides in the house. One, they stink. Two, I consider it dangerous. But you can always do things that mitigate the problem outside. So if you keep trash cans by your garage, move them to a side of the building that doesn't have an entrance or an exit there, or windows or something like that, or move them farther away from your house. There are, prevention is better than cure in this case. So prevent them from getting inside to begin with, prevent them from establishing a foothold by cleaning everything, and then you won't have to worry about this. But it's an absolute scam that these pesticides are being sold and they don't work. But now you know, so don't continue to buy these terrible products and look for better solutions. Talk to you guys later.